Ladies and G's, boys and G's, it's the forbidden son of athletics, KaraboJ, with another episode of the TrackInsider ZA. I am not alone, I am with.
He is here with Thapelo, Mhlanga, aka Thappies.
Ladies and G's, boys and G's, it's the forbidden son of athletics, KaraboJ. I feel like we're in the shade. With another episode of the TrackInsider ZA. I am not alone, I am with.
He is with Thapelo, Mhlanga, aka Thappies, aka Romeo, and we are here to give you news about athletics.
Yeah, welcome to episode 29 or 28 of the TrackInsider ZA. Oh, we missed an episode last week. Yeah, somebody knows why. I forgot that it's shooting day, but it's okay. We're here today, wrapping up the conversation that we had the previous episode about the divided attention. What we were about to get into and what we're going to finish is the corrective measures. So what should we do to make sure that attention is not divided, going forward? And then the second topic we're going to have today, which is the topic of the day, the shoes, how important running shoes are, what they do, the technology that it comes with lately, and everything that sort of evolves around running shoes. I think it's a lot to mention, so we will also continue about this episode next week. Next week might be a tricky episode. I might be somewhere else, or I don't know. We will see how we work on next week. We might shoot 2 episodes today. So yeah, that's just about it. Let's get into it.
We'll figure it out next week. We're not gonna shoot. We'll figure it out next week.
Yeah. Let's get into it. So what we were dealing with last episode, a recap is divided attention between males and the females within the sport.
Yeah.
We spoke mainly about the media, how the media divides the attention, and I think we made big examples on how this might be the reason because of performance.
Yeah.
Performance based. The media puts attention on males based on performance and what males maybe can do in the sport that women maybe can match in their own standard, but for instance, men can run the 100 meters faster.
Yeah.
Yes, that's. So therefore, it ends up males being the fastest human beings than females. What else did we talk about? We justified the factors between that. There will be a standard for males. There will be a standard for women,
and there will be different standards each and every time.
Spoke about the international and the local scene as well, on how that works, on how locally they give some certain people attention and how they do not give some certain people attention, but we cleaned it out and said it's all because they don't meet their own standard in their own right. Yes. But furthermore, we need to get into how do we correct that? How do we now fix that and say, okay, now we are correcting it and we should share attention between the two genders within the sport.
Yeah.
Now, the best way to think about it, I hope they're not coming here. The best way to deal with this, right? That's what I think, is maybe equal pay and equal broadcasting, sort of broadcasting or viewership, or maybe like shooting capabilities or abilities. For instance, what I'm trying to say here is let's shoot or let's record males and females the same way.
Okay.
Let's record the 100 meters of the males and the 100 meters of the females fairly. So in some instances, you'll find events whereby they record or they show us the males 200 and not the females 200 maybe. The males 5,000 and not the females 5,000. Or they show you the glimpse of the females 3,000 meters steeplechase.
One thing that I can say about that, let's say track has always had its times. I think only in high school or in South Africa you would have an event where it's girls under 16 and boys under 16 immediately. But I've seen when you go on a higher level, it never happens back to back, where you will have the women main event. They give you a spotlight in sense of you are the main event of today, and then if there's a next time, you are the main event of the evening. We've had events where women have been the main event with having the last meeting or the last race of the day. Then them being the main event and the woman got to dominate that. So I think in that athletics is trying quite hard with that, so that people can have equality with that. You know, not everybody can always be the main event, but I don't think, I don't know how to equalize that, because we can't really have,
but we,
you know,
we
the
need to
schedule
see
gets
more
so
women.
scattered
we need to see
in
women in our screens, because there was once a time this year, early this year, the Nigeria Cat Invitational, Distance Invitational. So the only races they would show on some of the races they would show on their Facebook page would be the males races, you know. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I saw. And when they showed some of the female races, some people would comment down there and be like, okay, skip this one, I'm going to pee now, I'm going to do something, I'm going to make food, I'll come back later for the main race. And for me, that's already telling me that,
you see, it's,
are we willing to look at women's races? So some people are not.
It's you understand that the whole world has to accept it, in the sense of it has to be a whole group of 10 people. But then, you know, sometimes you need to start a motion. When you start a motion, that's the beginning of it, because starting something could be the place where it's gonna now grow and it's gonna make a big difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think people do have to take motion of that, man.
Yeah, I think starting a motion within the sport is one of the craziest things you can ever do, because
It is.
This is the most ignorant sport ever. You know, we can talk about something and like 500 people can agree with us.
Yeah.
And only one person can maybe physically say, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Or verbally say, I agree with you on social media or anything like that. Because we have a community within the sport that is so quiet about issues that affect everyone. This community is sometimes so quiet about issues that are really crucial to progress. So sometimes people will be quiet about something, and that something is something that can maybe move the sport to a high level within the country and internationally. But internationally, I think we have the platform to speak, we have the platform to do whatever you want and show whatever you want. But locally, it's a bad scene. Locally, it's a bad scene. People hide behind so many doors, man.
And I think also, there's so much locally. We still our women are really still developing so much. You know, I believe once there's going to be someone who breaks that sub 11 barrier, it'll motivate the women, and hopefully South Africa can have more women running on that level. And if that does happen, hopefully they'll have that motivation where people will be like, you know what, I want to see what's happening. I want to see how hard, you know, how hard we can go as women, and that more people will actually be focused and give them more attention, the attention that they deserve, and that they feel like they need to be able to grow in the sports.
You know what's the one thing I also thought about? As much as we can talk about equality or attention given the same for women and men, sometimes how about we look at how some things are not made easier but made less for women. The workload is made less for women. And okay, we understand that the biology of life is that the male's body sometimes can take more than the female's body.
What a female body can do,
Yes. But now what about the cross-country
scene?
Distances.
Yeah.
For instance, the junior men's event will be the 8K and the junior women's event will be the 6K.
Yeah.
Same as the NCAA system, whereas the women's races will be the 6K and the men's event will be the 8K or the 10K.
Yeah.
And locally as well, this USA's next week. The men, okay, here they will be running the same distances, 4K and the 10K. But in some events, why don't we equal those distances? Why don't we share the same amount of distance ran on that day or on that specific race as well? So I think if maybe we start doing some certain things, we will maybe see some I don't know, it's
some
just
changes,
a theory that I have, maybe some smooth and even attention between the two genders. But it's all for argument, you know, it's all for argument. It's all up to what women want as well, because at the end of the day, we are males sitting here and discussing what we think women want, you know, and
we're not sure what they want. It actually would be so not to have like women's perspective, but I think we've had women's perspective where they also feel like the light isn't being shined on them as much in the sport. I think we obviously do know that, and that always has been an important matter, not just in athletics, but in most of the sports in general. Russia ba vela gore itse keng basadi ba ka kukiwa yang Yeah, so you know what? I really hope we do work on growing women, man, and that their sports can also be uplifted. Like just to make an example with how female women are competing internationally, those people deserve such a high platform for what they're doing because it's incredible. It's incredible what Elaine Tempson, the Shirley Ann Fraser, all those people, what they are doing out there. It's just too beautiful, too beautiful. So I think everybody in the world deserves to see such amazing talent.
Yeah, another corrective measure could be equal media attention. Let's post females as much as we're posting males. Let's post about females as much as we're posting about male performances. Let's try to even it out. You know, I said in the past, it's our responsibility as the media people, as people in the media of athletics. It's our responsibility to talk about such issues as well, to put it out there, because people consume the media and learn from the media.
Yeah.
So we hope that this conversation maybe made a difference, or you can comment down below. You can comment to whoever, the both of us on our social medias, text us, whatever it is that you want to share with us, do so please. Let's move on to the next topic, which is the topic of this day or this episode: running shoes.
Yeah.
Let's not say spikes, but shoes.
Shoes, yeah. Let's say moditeki.
Yeah. Running shoes are usually used for running on the road. That sounded so
casual.
Yeah,
Like running shoes are used for running. Oh my God! Come on.
But yeah, running shoes are used for running on the road, on the track, on a trail, on mud, on grass, you know, on a lot of surfaces. But there's different shoes for different surfaces. For instance, like I'm saying, trail, there will be running shoes for trail running. For the road, there would be running shoes for the road.
Road running, yeah.
For the track, there's those flat shoes. You know them?
Yeah.
Yeah, those running shoes. And then for maybe the grass cross country, there would be those flats or those racers.
Yeah, racer shoes and stuff like that.
I hope I'll post some pictures here and there. And then obviously we know for the track there's spikes, but we're not talking about spikes today.
Spikes currently, yeah.
The importance of running shoes. To make it simple, when you make impact with the ground when running, it is torture to the body. To make it simple, it is torture to the body. The impact causes pain to the body and your legs, right? So running shoes are cushions and protect your feet, your legs from that pain, you know, so they make running comfortable for you.
Yeah.
So this is why someone can get into running and run with maybe Converse All Stars or something
and get injured.
And it will be painful
because you don't have
this as well.
You don't get the cushion that you need and the comfortability where the shoe absorbs the impact. Because when you step down, the shoe absorbs the impact and it becomes lighter. So with Converse, there's not enough cushion where you step and it absorbs it enough.
It's the same as making direct contact with the ground.
And the shock comes into your leg. So with the Converse, the shock immediately goes there, and that creates injuries over a period of time. And
common injuries that are probably deriving from shoes is your Achilles tendonitis, maybe the shins as well.
You have shin problems, you can have ankle problems.
Yeah, even calf injuries, because if your calves are not that strong. The upper region of the leg might survive. Survive, but
then it also does. It also does in a way. It can impact your back. It can impact so much. Something that you don't feel, and it all takes a period of time, just because it was being absorbed in a wrong way, and your body was just taking this whole force for a period of 3 months that you ran with bad shoes, and then you get injured. So shoes do play a very, very big role, because with shoes you can know how to be taking. Am I running well? Am I injured?
Talking from a practical point of view, the first shoe I had was a running shoe I had was a Maxed, I can't remember what, but Mr. Price Maxed whatever shoe. And I ran with it for like 3 months, maybe 2.
Take your spike.
Take a running shoe for like 2-3 months, I think 2 months. And after that, I felt like some pain on my shins. I couldn't deal with it. My training, they were like, buy Nike. We're not promoting any brands. We're not saying any brand is bigger than the other. But okay, eventually that's the case.
Buy your Nike or your Adidas or your Puma, you know, the big brands that make shoes specifically for running. Quality shoes where you can go to the shop and speak with a person like, okay, cool, please tell me about this shoe, and they can tell you, okay, this shoe is designed like this. It's made to absorb this kind of pressure, this kind of, I almost said attention, this kind of, you understand? Those kind of stuff. Seek information on the shoes that you buy so that you can know more too, so that you can also prevail, so that you can look out for yourself, so that you don't get injured either.
So from there, there was instant change. I could feel the comfort. I could feel the durability. Like I could feel that this shoe is gonna last. I could also feel the movement of my legs as well. You know, it sort of was suited for the shoe, or the shoe was suited for me as well. You know, it was good. I trained there for a very long time with those shoes until I changed them. I don't know when, but it was some time later. But what I'm trying to make here is an example of brands differ and shoes differ. So as a human being, go for the brand that works for you. Go for the shoe that works for you. That does the
most for you.
For instance, now we have shops that like Sportsman Warehouse, particular Sportsman Warehouses, where you will go and they will take you. They will take your feet, measure them, do whatever tests they have to do, check them out, and actually describe and even like prescribe offer you, or not really prescribe, but what's the word? Anyways, maybe offer you a shoe that works exactly for you. You know, catered and tailored for you. So what I'm essentially trying to say is different brands for different people. There are also people that choose Adidas for a certain benefit. For instance, I saw that Adidas, most of them have some Continental material underneath. Continental is a tire brand. So the road running shoes would have some Continental material. I don't know if it protects them or it's like tires. I don't know. Maybe it's the grip. I just don't know. I just see Continental. I'm a Nike guy.
I've seen Continental. I think Continental is sponsors Adidas. I don't know.
But it's like a tire brand. So I'm thinking if it's under the shoe, surely there's some tire effect on the shoe.
Or maybe they could have something. They could have a specific design to change the grip of the shoe, but I've seen it. And it's like I want to continue that white Adidas one that says Continental. I've seen it by Solo.
So, like I'm saying, I'm a Nike guy. There's an Adidas guy. There's a Puma guy. There's all different type of brands. Hoka is one of the most prominent shoes that are coming in running. On running as well. A lot
There's a lot of shoes that are doing the most actually.
But different quality, different shoes for different people. Now let's go into the shoe technology and how it affects your running these days. Nike is probably the leaders of this thing, the leaders of this design, and people see it as mechanical doping. Because Nike in 2017 designed shoes for Eliud Kipchoge. For him to break
sub 2 minutes.
2 hours.
2 hours. I mean, right? Sub 2 minutes, sub 2 hours.
The initial thing was for him to use less energy while he's running on the road. So they developed, I think it was the first ever Nike Next Percent. And it was not the Vaporflies, but it was the Nike Next Percent. Right, the running shoes had some type of effect on the ground. It had that carbon fiber material inside, which really forces the shoe. So the shoe, what the shoe does is it bounces back immediately after you make contact with the ground, so more faster, and it pushes you upper in some way.
But you know,
it's not really evident way as you can see it when someone is running. It's not like a trampoline or something. But it's that.
You know, in a sense, you know, for me, I would always think about it. No matter what shoe you have, but to be able to do something in specific, you have to be able to have trained for it, and
it's not about the shoe.
Be ready for it, because the shoe can be as the best shoes in the world, but if you're not going to be ready to be the best runner in the world and work as hard,
that day, yeah,
the shoe will be useless.
Yeah, but
You understand?
Sure.
Because I can take that techie now, and I might not even be able to hold 3 minutes a K for 3 Ks. You look consistent 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, because I don't have the training for that. You understand? You have to also have the training for it.
And
they can't give
why,
they can't give the shoe like 30%, 30% credit, dog.
Yeah.
I give a shoe 5 to 10% credit.
And hence why, forgot what I wanted to say, but I wanted to say that it shows that this is why the shoes are still capable of being used. Like the shoes are still being allowed to be used, because it's not really giving the human being the advantage.
The advantage or the power.
Sort of using the shoes to his
advantage.
Yeah. Depending on the fitness,
depending on
how the person runs. Yeah. So as I was explaining, it was later developed into a product that's in stores. You know, from the Eliud Kipchoge project to a product in stores, people started buying them. People also started feeling that for the marathon, they started feeling that it's making me. It feels like I'm using less energy. It's a feel.
You know what it's like?
It feels like I'm using less energy. It feels like I'm bouncing more. You know, there was a lot of talk behind it, and then Adidas developed their kind of shoe. I can't remember, it's the Adizero what. Their shoe, and this was 2018. They were developing it in 2018, but they only released it and were making or giving it to the athletes in 2019, 2020, where they ran the world record for the half marathon or the 10Ks, and they started running faster. Adidas athletes started running faster. And then Nike came through 2020 with the Vaporfly Next Percent, 4%, right? There's the also 3% one. Now this specific one, apparently it takes or makes you use less or 4% less of your energy that you supposedly use. I have not had those shoes before. I have not ran with them, so
but
that's what I was looking at, and I was seeing, and I was watching. So there's that air pocket as well that they developed into the shoe, right? That air pocket, do you know that air pocket?
Yeah.
2 of them. What they do is now they act as a spring in some way.
Okay,
They act as a spring. So the minute you bounce on the ground, they go immediately faster. So I hope you can see this. The minute you bounce on them, they spring immediately.
Yeah.
So they spring faster. And they make you use less energy. It's just a thick shoe, and they're carbon plated with those air pockets. So now you end up not even feeling the ground.
Yeah.
That's how the shoe feels, supposedly. That's how the shoe feels. You end up not feeling the ground. You end up feeling like you're on a cloud bouncing, you know. So now,
and when you fit and you're bouncing in Tanaya,
and why? But
the thing is,
like
it gives you that confidence.
Doping. Yeah, it's like mechanical
it gives you that confidence, because now you are fit, you are flowing, you are moving. What do?
Yeah.
You continue to flow.
So now,
you continue to pick up with speed.
So how do you feel about these shoes, and is this the future of running? Because they keep on developing shoes that are like this. We're gonna talk about spikes probably in the future. There are spikes that are now like this. There are spikes with air pockets now.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about these shoes, and what's the future of running looking like? Because more brands are developing similar kind of shoes.
You know what? Man, I think it's the same as what I said now. You know, for me, shoes, yes, they do make a difference, but it's not that crazy as though it is. You know, obviously shoe development from back then to now has made a difference in the running and in the comfortability of the running. So, man, I'm excited to see, but then it doesn't really make you crazy faster. You yourself still have to naturally be fast.
I think it plays a role in your running, and it has an advantage. I think it does, man. I mean, look at Eliud, man. The way he runs, even when he's running, so I can see it when someone is running that, okay, they look comfortable and their technique is really good. And I'm just thinking about the shoe of how the rubber is so high. Surely the comfort is on another level. The cushioning is on another level. I just think that the heaviness of the shoe. Sure, I just hope that it's not too heavy.
I think it's like, you know what I take it as? There are spikes that are designed that are so light that when you wear them and run with them, it doesn't feel like you're winning anything on your feet, but you just feel the grip as you run. I've had spikes like that before.
Yeah.
Yes, I did run faster times and it did give me PBs, but man, I don't know.
Do you think it's a mechanical advantage or a mental
if you can
advantage?
call it mental. It plays mental.
Nah,
mental. You have to be
it's
ready for
mechanical as
both,
well.
man.
If they tested that shoe out, Pella Elliot was writing a journal, so every day he would run on those shoes and he would explain that, okay, this is what I felt like today, this is what it felt like, and this is what should be improved. Even the slightest things, as maybe the type of material here on the end, it was holding me on this day, it was irritating me on this day. So they're definitely making a shoe that's suitable for you and for your feet, and also gives you that mechanical advantage. I think that's the case. I mean, if he was able to run, okay, let's give Elliot, the athlete, credit, right? But let's also go to the shoes and give them the credit. Let's ask ourselves this question: was he going to run the 2 hours without the 2 hours without the shoes? Because he ran with the shoes, we can say no.
We can say yes still, because what is his world record?
It's a
201.
The official world record, or
the official world record is a 201.
Yeah, 201.
So if that man not going to fit 201, Majita that man in ready. All he did, yes, the shoes helped him a lot, and it helped him.
The second fastest time.
Yes, 201 also. But his 201 was not in the same shoes. When he ran the 201,
no, but it was similar shoes. It's Nike shoes.
Why did not? Let's say blind after his 201.
Nah. Kipchoge ran a 115. Kipchoge ran a 201 before, ne?
Yes.
And then he ran the 159 in Vienna. So what you're saying is Kipchoge ran Thappies. Kenenisa ran 2020.
Why get yalo? Because Matile 201.
Yeah.
And
not
then
the
that man,
not the same time.
Same, I think a difference by a year.
Yeah.
That man only evalata 159 after 159 ke last year. 159 ke last year.
Yeah, but 159 was before.
Joe. That man 201 before 159.
We are unsure about this, but let's talk about shoes. We're not talking about the time. Okay, sharp.
Me, I'm sure, guys.
Sharp, let's
me, I'm sure. Hey.
It's okay, you're sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the shoes.
No.
Let's talk about the shoes and their advantage. So, Mara, the next persons were out, and that's what he was running in. This thing is off. This thing is off. But anyways, shoes are giving mechanical advantage, and Adidas is sort of developing the same type of thing, same type of shoe, to help their athletes for road running and whatnot. We will also talk about spikes, surely in the next episode. How they play their role, how they grip on the track, how they give you the advantage. The difference in spikes, sprint spikes, distance spikes. There's also the distance spikes that are different. There's ones that have more maybe rubber or material underneath, and there's those ones who have less for the 400 and the 800 and sometimes the 5,000 going up.
Yeah, the rubber at the back.
There's more rubber.
But the higher you go, the more rubber, because we're thinking 800 is not something short, so you can front foot, you can front run, and like front foot. I get a front foot all
the way.
You can front foot run for a whole 800, but it wouldn't be as easy front running for 5Ks, even though it's possible, right? You front run for 5Ks, but it's not as easy as an 800. So that's why the more you go into distance, the shoes have a solar, so that if you're not a front foot runner and you start to go heel toe or you go flat foot, so that your heels don't take impact and you don't get Achilles injuries and you don't get those kind of injuries. You understand what I mean?
Yeah. The last thing, why shoes are important. For instance, practical example that just happened to me recently. My shoe. Whoa. Okay. My shoes were like torn on the side.
On the side, yeah.
Yeah, like sort of here. And I kept on running in them. I fixed them the first time, tore again. Kept on running in them. I think we had a session. And so this part of my shoe kept on going out. So it was, I don't know if exposed or something, but it kept on going out. And since that day, my foot has never been the same. I think I'm injured. I'm out. I'm even out for now. I'm injured, and it's been like 2 weeks with pain. So I kept on running, and last week Monday, last week, I ran. That was the last session that I did. And after that session, I knew that something was wrong.
Yeah, good to know, man.
It's more than just what I think it is. I thought that it's one of those things that will get better with time, but now I knew. So I had to go to the podiatry clinic. They said it's not a fracture or a broken bone, because if that was the case, I wouldn't even handle the load of walking.
Yeah, it would be too hard.
I would feel the excruciating pain every single day, or every single moment. So it could be a tendon rupture or something. I don't know, because I haven't really checked at a hospital or something. So I'm just icing it for now, waiting for a couple of days, and then I'll test it out. So take care of yourself and your shoes. Run in proper shoes. Don't take the risk of saying, I'll get through this, I'll get over this. Sometimes we do stupid things as runners because we love running. Yeah. And we don't want to see ourselves out just because of running.
Because once you get that fitness, man, you just want to keep on flowing, man. You just want to keep on flowing.
Yeah, man. I fixed the shoe. I'm running in it again. And guess what? I'm one of the people that run in 2 inner soles.
Nah,
don't you, have you never done it?
No.
You should do it, man. It's so comfortable. It sort of acts like an extra.
It's called an arc. You see your arc of your foot.
Yeah.
Salaya collapse. Go HS. Go HS because Gimatile told me. This was a very good example of
bad choices.
Gimatile told me for 3 months next to I was in grade 9. That's the year I started becoming hot now. Yeah. Those Tommies are the reasons I became hot.
So what happened?
They were my builder.
No, man, let's talk
about
the Tommies.
Let's talk about the Tommies.
and close the show.
So the Tommies, the thing is, the Tommies are nearly cross-country season. So cross-country season, so I didn't have tackies because I couldn't, my athletics wasn't hot, so I didn't know. So the Tommies say, man, every day road running. Ladies and gentlemen, Lawa.
Just show this
this bridge fell.
Sure.
The arc. As it dropped because the Tommy didn't have the absorption that it had to take. So after a while, my foot just collapsed. The arc, and then I was injured and I was out for like 3 months. And then
did you go to a hospital? Okay, what was the procedure of coming back? Because you were injured, it fell, you whatever fell.
Let me be honest, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up?
She was dancing to the camera. What happened at that time, there was a lady called Tani Jackie in Parambat. She's a physiotherapist. I got needles and I got taken care of by her for a while. I went for a few sessions until I was okay. So that's what I did. At that time, this is what you understand. I just went to a and that's how I healed. But I'm just warning you now. Yes, there's better ways to heal because whatnot. But
let's take the right choices. Ladies and G's, boys and G's, it has been the forbidden son of athletics, KaraboJ, with another episode of the TrackInsider ZA. I was not alone, He was with Thapelo Mhlanga, aka Thappies, aka Romeo, aka I have opened my inner Broly.